Hi, this is Yolanda Van Veen from vanveenbulbs.com, and in this section we're going to talk about how to refrigerate bulbs. Now, flower bulbs come in many shapes and sizes, and there's many different reasons why you would refrigerate them. If you live in a mild climate or a climate where you do have a winter, generally you don't need to refrigerate them because they are getting a change between the summer and the winter months, and there's a change in temperature, so they're getting a dormant period. But if you live in a climate that's really warm year-round, it's hard to get tulips and daffodils and lilies to bloom the next year without refrigerating them. So the easiest way to refrigerate them is to just put them in the refrigerator. And there's a couple rules that I like to follow. So for bulbs that, like tulips or daffodils, or a little bit harder bulbs, I have found the best way to refrigerate them is right into a paper bag, and then leave the paper bag in the refrigerator for about 8 weeks. And then take them back out and then plant them right into the ground again. And usually 8 weeks is enough of a cooling period for them to think that they've had winter, and they'll come up and bloom in the spring. And I found with bulbs like lilies, like if you live in San Diego and you want them to bloom from year to year, you actually have to dig them up in the fall. And I found lilies will dry out in a paper bag. So I actually put them in a paper bag with some soil because you want to keep them moist. If they get too dry, you'll lose them. And so I just mix the soil with the bulb and just leave them in a plastic bag in the refrigerator, and they're airtight. There's many people that say that if you mix your vegetables and fruit with your flower bulbs, that the ethylene gas will do damage. And there is something to that, but it's really hard to separate them. So if you can put them in a crisper or put them in a bag separate from everything else, that always helps too. And then that way they won't get damaged. But I found in the end they still will grow, and it's better than losing them. And if you do lose them, then you can just treat them as an annual and replace them every year. And also, if you've got tulips or daffodils that you want to force inside, or paper whites for Christmas, just by throwing them into the refrigerator in a paper bag for about 6 weeks, from September until the beginning of November, and then taking them back out, then you can force them indoors, and then they'll bloom in the winter for you. So you don't have to refrigerate them if you live in a cold climate and you want to leave them outside. But if you live in a warm climate, you want to give them a winter, and all you do is just refrigerate them.